Welcome everyone to my Medicom Mafex review of Doctor Strange from the Avengers Infinity War line. And those of you who follow the Mafex figures will know that this is in fact the first Doctor Strange figure they have given us. So let's take a look at the packaging first and then we'll move on to the figure itself. And this is not your standard Mafex box, this is a lot bigger, and that's due to the accessories inside. And then we also have two shots of Doctor Strange at the front with all the titles and logos, kind of your standard Mafex packaging. And then one side we have Doctor Strange with the title, and then the other side is the full body shot that we normally see. And then at the top, Avengers Infinity War. And then at the bottom we have more detail. Obviously we have the official shiny sticker, which is really important. At the back, it's a summary of the figure with the accessories. We have the instruction manual. We have the standard stand that's included for each of the figures. So let's take a look at the first half of the accessories, the ones packaged with the figure itself. As you can see, there is plenty to play around with for this Doctor Strange. So over on the far left, we have a transparent plastic tool. And from my experience, this is not part of the figure. It's just a tool to assist you in flicking out a certain accessory. And then we have the alternate head sculpt. We have the Eye of Agamotto. Two pieces of the clothings, front and back. We also get the magic circle effect. And probably the most interesting and the selling point of this figure, the one that took up most of the packaging box, is the 1,000 arms effect. And the second set of accessories, still neatly placed inside this packaging, is all the magic circle and fighting effects, as well as 8 sets of alternative hands. So here is the Doctor Strange figure right out of his packaging, and my first impressions is this is a very high quality figure. I am really impressed by the way it's presented, from the head sculpt to the proportions, the paint apps, the cloak, the design. Everything about it, it looks amazing as a Doctor Strange figure. And I'm glad that Medicom Mafex have taken their time over a Marvel character. And especially if you have to make people wait for so long, you do expect them to bring out a quality figure to challenge the likes of Hasbro and SH Figuarts. And I think they've certainly done that, especially if you don't have any other versions of Doctor Strange. This is your first. I can assure you, you won't be disappointed. And just taking it out of the box, I may have mentioned that it's very premium. And just look at the way it looks overall. Even without all the accessories, I think this is going to draw a lot of attention to a display. And looking at the cloak, it does seem somewhat oversized, but since it's an integral part of Doctor Strange, I'm not complaining too much. In some ways, it kind of looks like a comic version rather than the movie version because of the cloak. And the way they presented it, obviously the all soft cape, which is something that Tamashii Nations didn't do for the Infinity War version. I also noticed the Eye of Agamotto is kind of loose, and obviously you can change it up as there is an extra one in the accessories. And just look at the way the cloak is presented. It has all the details. And one of the most important things is obviously the face sculpt. It's not perfect, and I would say the SH Figuarts or Hasbro version isn't either. But in terms of the way it looks, the likeness to Benedict Cumberbatch, I would say it's pretty good, and it's good enough for a 1/12 scale figure. And in some ways, it can kind of pass off as a comic Doctor Strange, in my opinion. I think it all has its positives and negatives compared to other versions. So in terms of the way it's proportioned, I feel that it feels very chunky, very bulky, and that's something that Mafex kind of give us in their figures compared to, say, SH Figuarts. Let's quickly bring in the Infinity War Battle on Titan version. And I'm a big fan of the MCU SH Figuarts. I collect most of the characters from them. And even I feel that sometimes their figures are a bit short. And some of the characters are a bit thin. I mean, Doctor Strange isn't the biggest guy around, so he doesn't need to be that bulky. But in terms of height, I actually do prefer the Mafex version. So out of its packaging, the Doctor Strange figure is very impressive, very stocky, very chunky. If you like your figures quite big, this is definitely one for you. So let's test out the movement, the articulation of Doctor Strange, and I'm going to do it right out of his packaging, so I'm not going to remove the cloak or any of the accessories. this is the standard look of Doctor Strange, which a lot of people like. So let's just test out the way it moves. And I'm sure if you take off the cloak, the articulation will be a lot smoother. There will be some limitations with this cloak on. So head sculpt, no problem. In fact, it's very smooth left and right. There's also full rotation round and round if you want. And it can also tilt sideways and then downwards as well as upwards. So the head is no problem. And I noticed obviously this Doctor Strange has a full soft material cloak. And that's something to take notice if you're looking to pick up maybe the SH Figuarts version. The first Doctor Strange and the Infinity War figures, they actually had a hard plastic for the collar. And obviously it's not accurate when you take off the cloak because you have to take off the whole thing. And they changed it in the Multiverse of Madness version. But that is something to take note of. It won't be accurate if you take off only the bottom half. So the Mafex version, obviously they got right. And then the next thing is the arms. I mean, it's standard. I mean, forwards, sideways, backwards. You can move the cloak because there is bendy wire and you can shape the way you want it. And then upwards, there's a full arm rotation, and then there's an elbow bend. And obviously for the hands, there's rotation and there's also a slight hinge. So it's very important for Doctor Strange to move his hand well because of all the spells. And then the next thing is to test out the body. So there's a body swivel, and it can go side to side slightly if you want, but it's very subtle. And then there's a body crunch forwards and upwards. And then for the legs, there is a rubber piece for this cloak part, but it doesn't actually really limit the way the leg moves. So it can go forwards, backwards, full leg rotation. Obviously there's a knee bend, and then the boots go round and round. There's also a hinge and side to side. So articulation, obviously you have to play around with it. I'm being very careful as I don't want to break anything. So now let's take a look at the different accessories, starting off with the alternate head sculpt. So let's switch it out for the standard one and take a look at the differences. So here is the alternative head sculpt included, and as you can see it's not much of a difference, but there are some changes to the facial expressions. In my opinion, I still kind of prefer the standard face. I think the lightness is slightly better, but if you're looking for more dynamic posing in the fighting or magic spell pose, then I would say use this head sculpt. So the next accessories we're going to take a look at requires removing the cloak, so I'm going to do that now. So for the collar part, you can see that it's actually punched in on both sides. So you just slowly remove the pegs, and then you can remove the cloak. And obviously you can see that there are two holes now, and we need to switch out the front. And one bonus is that the Eye of Agamotto can be removed, because obviously there is another one, and even if there wasn't a extra one, I think this is a big plus, because obviously Doctor Strange doesn't need to always have one. And this is the difference. One of them has the green light up effect and one doesn't. So to remove the front of the clothings, we're going to have to detach the body. And this is when the plastic tool comes in hand. When you remove the back, it's actually a rubber piece, and I think this is a nice touch, because if it was a hard plastic it could actually easily break. So since it's rubber, it's actually quite flexible, but still be careful obviously. And then we can replace it with the other one. So now you can see we have a full transformation for the front and back of Doctor Strange, so no more holes when you remove the cloak. And then on the back you have a different replacement piece, and this one has 3 because obviously we have to put on the 1,000 arms on. So we also have the different Eye of Agamotto you can put on, and this one obviously has the light up version. And now it's time for the main event. And notice that the 1,000 arms is separated also into 2 pieces. It's actually a magnet piece, so it detaches on really well. So I'm going to place first the lower half. once that's connected, we have 6 arms, and then we connect the rest of them, and this gives it that illusion of the 1,000 arms, which is a big plus. One of the main points of picking up the Mafex version is because of this. I know that there are certain third-party custom kind of made versions, and you can actually place it on the SH Figuarts, but if you're looking for like an official one, then obviously Mafex is the one to go for. And if you want to be more dynamic, we can actually place the cloak on, and to do that, you remove the top half, place the cloak in, and obviously we're going to have to switch out the front again. And then this one, because it's a magnet, it still actually fits on. So through the cloak, you have the bottom half connected at the back, and then the other arms can be placed outside, and that gives it that amazing type of look with the cloak. Obviously I'll switch it back with the front, and yeah, you get a really good pose for Doctor Strange, and I really like it. And even before we switch out the rest of the accessories like the magic circles and effects, just having this as a look, I think is pretty impressive. So now let's take a look at the sets of hands for Doctor Strange, which is a very important accessory as he needs to be in many different poses with the magic spells. So starting off with the ones right out of the packaging, and that is the relaxed palms. And then we also get the open palms. And then we get a set of open palms with the holes, and this is to punch in the magic circle effects. And then we have the closed fists. And also for the closed fists, we have the holes to punch in the effects again. And then we have the casting of the magic spells. And then a second set of the casting of the spells. And then we get the sling rings. And finally some grapple hands to hold on to the weapons. Let's take a look at the magic circle effects. So they've given us a hard plastic which is kind of transparent in an orange color. And for the SH Figuarts, they actually didn't give us these types of circles until the Multiverse of Madness, as previously it was just a thin transparent plastic. We also have this double circle effect, which is very unique. So here are the magic circle effects punched in with the open palms. We also have the effects with the closed fists. And we also have the double magic circle connected to the hand, and this is very unique for Doctor Strange, and I'm very impressed with the way it looks. And then we also have the Fireblade, which is also another great addition. And we also have the rope accessory. We also have the 6 green magic circle effects, which is for both arms. And finally the 2 mini orange ring circles that go through the arms. So now for my overall thoughts on the first Doctor Strange figure from Mafex, and it's a positive one. I think right out of the box, even just like this, it's an amazing piece with the lightness to the paint apps to the nice fabric cloak, and then when you switch out the accessories, this figure really transforms. When you detach the cloak and swap out the clothes, the Eye of Agamotto, the different hands, the effects, the weapons, and of course the main selling point is the 1,000 arms effects. That's just me, since I have a few of the Doctor Strange SH Figuarts which doesn't include this accessory, so seeing something like this really blows the Bandai version out of the water. And this is such a great look for a display. If I had to be picky, I could say the arms should have also articulation, but it's not an absolute necessary. I think the idea of it connected to the back, even when the cloak is on with the magnet, Medicom have really done an excellent job here. We also get the weapons like the Fireblade, the rope, 2 accessories also very essential for the battle on Titan with Thanos, and of course the rings and circle effects, which are always a signature look for any Doctor Strange figure. The only thing I would give the SH Figuarts the benefit is they included the head sculpt with the closed eyes for the meditating effect, as well as the green chest effect when doing that pose. A portal was also included, but everything else Mafex does better. This figure also includes a stand which allows the figure to stand better since it can get a bit heavy with the 1,000 arms, and also for the flight meditating pose. So overall this is a must if you don't have a Doctor Strange figure, especially if you're looking for one that's similar to the SH Figuarts line. The price can be a little bit off-putting since it's almost double of the Figuarts version, but I can assure you, you won't be disappointed. So overall, my score is a 8.5 out of 10. This is simply an amazing figure. I know a lot of people say the Mafex versions of others like Captain America Infinity War or Thor Endgame is better than the rest out there. The only thing is I already started my collection from the Bandai and I really want a consistent collection. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment and subscribe, and head over to my channel to watch the other videos. Stay tuned for more news, reviews and collections. Thanks for watching and see you next time.